you were a kid between 2009 and 2013 and you were lucky enough to have one of these bad boys, then you maybe remember a little software called Flipnote Studio, which was basically a flipbook style animation software where you could pick up the stylus just from the DSi and start animating immediately. It was very low barrier to entry and lots of kids got their start in animation and drawing in general that way. The best part about it was that it wasn't just you drawing stuff and seeing it onto your DSi. You could also share it online onto the service partner called Flipnote Hatena. It was an amazing breeding ground of creativity, community, and like just goofiness. When the service shut down on May 31st of 2013, and I tried to look at other social medias, none of them fit that same hole that it left inside of my heart, really. Like, I had never felt that there was another social media that even came close to that feeling that Flipnote Studio gave me and gave all of us. And after waiting for like 13 years now, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own. So I'm creating SketchTube, a social media for animators to post animations. Think about it as like your YouTube alternative for animation only. And whether you're an artist, an animator, or a wannabe animator, it's going to be the platform for you, especially if you're feeling nostalgic over Flipnote Hatena, because I'm gonna talk about today how I intend for Flipnote Hatena to have a spiritual successor in SketchTube and exactly what it's all about. But before I get into the meat of the video, I want to change my video style a little bit because I was finding that my communication channels over Discord, email, Instagram, and YouTube are starting to get a little mixed up. So I want to just create every single video of mine now with a beginning section where I give you guys the SketchTube update of this week, month, period of time so that it's more clear and simple. And if you're watching these videos, you probably care about SketchTube's development anyways. So hang tight with me while I give you the SketchTube updates of mid-September 2025. First point is that SketchTube Early Access has been available since September 15th, and it's for all of those people that completed the 12 Days of Animation challenge that I talked about in my previous video. Basically, for each of the 12 principles of animation, you had to animate one of the principles quickly for 12 days. So the entire summer, I had SketchTube live for people that were my Patreon supporters under beta testing. And now it's open to those people still, as well as the people who completed this 12 Days of Animation challenge, so that there's more of a mix of people inside SketchTube testing it out and telling me all of the bugs that I made while I was programming. Another thing that's really exciting for you animators out there is I'm working on a SketchTube trailer, and I can't do it alone, right? But I want to create the trailer for SketchTube in an animated style, and I thought the best way to do this, to really encapsulate the feeling of what SketchTube really is to have it be a map, a multi-animator project. So the SketchTube trailer will be a map. There's going to be more details coming out about that over the next few weeks, but if you were interested in being one of the animators for the map, there's a Google form down below which you can fill out and then enter all your details, enter your information, your availabilities, and I'll be getting into contact with you over Discord. The actual SketchTube release date will be announced in the next few weeks, but I can tell you that if everything goes according to plan, it should be public before December. I don't want to give an exact release date, and everything I say is not like, it can change. So give me that grace, please. I also have mods now. I have a group of amazing moderators that are from my Discord community, and they're all animators themselves. One value that I really hold strongly to my heart is moderation should be human as much as possible, because there's just so many mistakes that AI moderators and generative moderators make because it doesn't really know the nuance of the full conversation. Speaking of beta testers, beta testing is now closed because beta testers are no longer really needed. It's not in beta anymore. SketchTube is now in early access. So all of the people that are subscribed to me on Patreon, and if you would like to subscribe to me on Patreon, you're going to be getting other types of perks. For example, in my YouTube videos, I'm going to feature at the end of the videos a little demo reel of all of the Patreon subscribers that are animators that want their work to be shown on a more broad audience. Also in the description, all of the patrons and their links are going to be there. Also, the bi-weekly theme challenge will be resuming. So basically, I used to have a weekly theme challenge, which was every week people had to animate something, and then we would make a call showing all those animations. But one week was just way too intense to create an animation. So we're gonna do one for every 2 weeks now. The one for the last 2 weeks of September until October 1st is going to be apple picking. So I hope that sparks something in you. So once you create your apple picking themed animation, you can post it on the Discord under weekly theme, and then we'll be having our call on the date on the screen. Thank you for hanging tight for the updates, and now let's get on to the meat of the video.
Alright, so now let's talk about the subject of today's video, which was how I hope that SketchTube will fill that same hole that Flipnote Hatena / Flipnote Studio kind of left behind in 2013. And while I talk about this, you're going to be able to see on screen, I'm looking through SketchTube actually. I'm looking through SketchTube Early Access, how it stands right now, people posting animations. And every person over here is going to be in the description where you can find their links to their social media. And you really get a sense as I'm looking through SketchTube on the screen right now that it has that same energy. It has that same vibe. There's very like specific types of posts, specific types of vibes, ambiance that I try to capture with SketchTube Early Access that I feel like if you were on Flipnote Hatena, you can see the similarities. But even so, I'm going to go over them one by one. Also, yeah, this part of the video is not going to have my face. I just find that when I listen to like art / animation related videos, sometimes I just like to have the voiceover and then just do my own thing on the side. So if you're drawing, animating at the same time as watching this as well, that's totally welcome. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about today how I hope that SketchTube will fill that same hole, but there are obviously some major key differences between SketchTube and Flipnote Hatena because the landscape for like just the internet in general and copyright laws is a lot harsher now than it was 10-15 years ago. I don't know if you were on Flipnote Hatena, then you know that literally every single Flipnote that was posted had copyrighted music because the copyright laws were a lot more lenient at the time. Right now though, as it stands on 2025 YouTube or any other whatever, if you post even like a 3-second clip with a copyrighted music, your video gets demonetized. Like they're a lot more strict with this type of stuff right now because record labels and whatever, all of these, like they have more detection software and they care a lot more about using their audio because that's their property. And I totally understand that and I want to respect that as much as possible. Down the line though, it is definitely a goal of mine to be able to somehow purchase rights to copyright music so that people can post because that's really a big aspect of an animation. It's being able to post with popular audios. So there's a lot of design choices from Flipnote Hatena that are going to be reused on SketchTube. Like the fact that number one, obviously only animations are going to be posted. It's not like a social media where you have to fight for people's attentions amongst like memes and photos and videos and AI. Oh my god. No, it's only animations. Animation friendly zone, that's the only thing that's being posted. But the type of animation is going to be a lot more flexible because there's no like built-in hardware associated with SketchTube. There's no DSI that it needs to be a DSI type of animation. You're allowed to post anything from 2D, pixel, whatever, 3D, and even stop motion. As long as the primary aspect of the video is animation, you're good. Another thing that is going to be reused that was really a popular and fun way to get out of artist block when we were on Flipnote Studio is the weekly theme prompts. So I'm still adjusting it, as you heard me talk about in the intro, I'm still adjusting it to make it work for SketchTube, make it work for people's animation workflow, like not overwhelming people by making a new animation entirely every single week. Maybe doing a bi-weekly thing is a better thing or a monthly thing at the most. But I definitely want to have like a prompt that's universal so that people can kind of see how other people run with prompts and so that they can get out of their own artist block. I think it really promotes a cool like collective environment, like where it's like, yeah, maybe sure we all have different animation styles, we have different like genres, we have different whatever, everything about us is different, but we're still animating under one common thing, which is this weekly theme prompt. And then also, as you can see, the cozy environment / old internet vibe is really present on the screen right now. It's very basic, not flashy at all. I really want it to feel like the early 2010s kind of vibe. Like I want it to be like brain detox. The only interesting thing on screen that you should be seeing is the animation. The UI should really just be supporting that animation and it should feel like home, like it should feel cozy. I really want that type of energy to come across when you're looking at the screen. Also, another thing that is so not present on current social medias is the chronological algorithm. On Instagram, when they got rid of the chronological algorithm for art Instagram, I swear to God, me and every single other artist wanted to switch over to another platform because that erased our entire existence. Like If we weren't being able to be seen by people that followed us, who was going to see our art? No one would care. It's really hard with artists like that. Like, you need to be able to put things in a very fair algorithm. You can't be doing it based on like what's the most engaging first. Like, being able to do a chronological algorithm, the discover algorithm for SketchTube, as well as like a most liked algorithm, really democratizes it. So the popular feed that you'll see on the top left, that's like most liked, and it filters out after 7 days. So once an animation hits 7 days old, it gets out of that so that other people have a chance to be seen. And it doesn't filter out like every Sunday. It's like every animation gets 7 days from the time it was posted to appear on that feed. Also, another feature that wasn't in Hatena specifically, but I think really gives Hatena vibes, is the tag system. So you'll be able to see in any of these animations that I kind of go through it. When I scroll down, you can see that people put like 1, 2, or 3 tags and they're colored. And those help you self-categorize and self-define what your animation is, rather than relying on the algorithm gods to decide for you. So yeah, I think it's a really unique touch, and it allows us to self-define and then also to follow and show interest in certain tags that you want to see more of. And it creates like certain niches. So it's kind of like hashtags, but a little bit less invasive, I find. One of the best aspects of SketchTube is that there's a strict no generative AI post policy. Unlike YouTube, which literally puts your videos through AI filters. I don't know if you guys have seen the shorts, but they look a little bit like AI, and that's for a reason. YouTube does that. I feel like we live in a world right now where AI has literally seeped through every single aspect of our being and our culture. And for me, it's so important to make sure that this corner of the internet that we're creating together is free of that. Like, free of not only just AI posts in general, but the mentality of AI. I think that there are some blurred lines sometimes, like using AI for conception and certain idea making. I find that to be okay, but as long as it's a tool and not a crutch, and people are not posting entirely generative AI artworks or animations, like that's where it becomes a problem. When you sign up to post on SketchTube, we're going to have a full policy of what's allowed and what's not allowed. So it's going to be super clear. We're just currently coming up with that with the moderators. Another really important aspect for me is that animation should be a medium, not just a genre. And I feel like a lot of other like just cultures online and in the actual film industry view it as a genre because, you know, for example, there's an award, best animated feature, like as if that is not incredibly vague and large. Like, animation in itself could be anything. It's just a way to tell a story. So I feel like SketchTube having that as the common ground is going to allow for a lot more different types of stories to be made and a lot of different types of rules to be broken. It should really have its own corner of the internet. I think that you'll agree with me there. There's also a lot of values that are similar to a Hatena, which is just as important as the actual technological infrastructure. Like, for example, cringe culture. Nothing is cringe on SketchTube. Like, post your furry stuff, post your anime stuff, as long as it's not NSFW or harassment based, it's welcome and it's celebrated, because I think that cringe is so cool, and that's something that I think all of us animators kind of vibe with. Also, artists are the priority, not the big corporations. So always number one, first and foremost, the artists and the animators are going to be the first priorities. Every single decision is going to be made to support the artists, not to support the ads that are potentially going to be run on SketchTube. Also, it's a very beginner-friendly environment. Like, we want to be encouraging people to get into animation. There's going to be a learn education tab as well, and you can post tutorials based on your specific type of animation as well. Like, I just wanted to make an environment where it's really easy to make friends, and it's very supportive, where people are helping each other and commenting on each other and always being like supportive and always being friendly. Because in the real world, people are harsh enough to artists as it is. So we just need a place where we're going to be having each other's backs. If you reached to the end of the video, I appreciate you so much. You do not have a short attention span, and I see you. You're not letting the algorithm gods get in your head. And I really would appreciate if you join the Discord, join Patreon, Ko-Fi, all of those things. If you want to, obviously no pressure, but Discord, I really want to see you in there. And please let me know in the comments any suggestions you have for future videos or just concepts in general. I will leave it at this for today. I hope that you enjoyed me talking about the spiritual successor of Flipnote Hatena. Please let me know any future video ideas or any SketchTube suggestions or questions or whatever in the comments. As usual, I'll be reading and responding to all of those down below. I hope you have yourself a great week, and thank you for helping me build a better future for animation together, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys!